Smiling Friends Season 3 Episode 7 gives fans one of the strangest, funniest, and most confusing endings of the season, and a lot of people are debating what actually happened in the final minute. The episode looks like a normal Smiling Friends adventure at first, with Pim and Charlie helping weird creatures again, but it suddenly shifts into something more uncomfortable and mysterious when the king of the Schmalugals claims he saw Charlie take an inappropriate photo of the princess. The moment is fast, shocking, and meant to feel awkward, and it leaves the audience wondering what is true and what is not. Smiling Friends is known for mixing comedy and chaos, but this episode pushes things further by ending on a note that forces viewers to question both the wizard's last-minute transformation and Charlie's last-second denial. The entire story is only 11 minutes long, but the episode is conflict and a strange fairy tale world that slowly reveals something darker hiding behind its cute appearance. The episode aired on November 23, 2025 on Adult Swim. Continuing the weekly schedule for season 3, and many fans immediately started discussing the ending online because the show doesn't answer the accusation. Smiling Friends normally wraps up most adventures in a clean and funny way, but this one chooses the opposite approach. Instead of giving a simple truth, the creators leave things open, letting fans argue over what they think happened. The entire episode takes place in a tiny woodland kingdom where small, cheerful creatures called Schmalugals live, and they ask the Smiling Friends for help. But like most things in the show, the world seems cute at first, but slowly becomes bizarre and dangerous when the truth about the wizard is revealed. The episode is written with quick jokes and sudden turns, which is something Zach Haddle and Michael Cusack, the creators, are well known for. The adventure begins when Pim and Charlie arrive in the kingdom and are told about a wizard who kidnaps Schmalugals. The moment the villagers finish explaining, the wizard literally appears out of nowhere, grabs Pim, and takes off. The funny part is that almost nobody reacts. The crowd basically shrugs and treats the kidnapping like something normal, so Charlie has to force everyone to care. He gathers a rescue group and leads them to the wizard's castle, even though he clearly doesn't want to do any of this work. Carly tries to push Pim to do more of the job earlier, but once Pim is captured, Charlie has no choice but to be the responsible one for once. Inside the castle, the tone shifts from absurd to dark very quickly. The wizard kills a Schmalugal right in front of Pim, and then he prepares to drain Pim's blood. While he rants, he reveals the real reason behind everything. He is balding. The entire chaos, kidnapping, murder, and magical rituals are all because he wants his hair back. His solution: use Schmalugal's blood to make hair-restoring potions. The reveal is both disturbing and hilarious, and it fits the show's comedy style perfectly. Smiling Friends often exaggerates normal problems to insane extremes, and here they turn hair loss into a whole blood magic saga. The wizard rants about his fear of losing his hair forever, acting like it is a tragedy worse than anything else, and that is when the contrast between the characters becomes very clear. Once Pim is freed and the villagers help capture the wizard, the big emotional moment arrives. Pim tells the wizard that he needs to accept himself and embrace the fact that he is balding. The music plays dramatically, and the wizard begins to hesitate, as if he is suddenly having a deep realization. But the joke hits when Charlie cuts in and simply tells him to go to a drugstore and buy over-the-counter hair treatment. There's no emotional struggle, no big breakthrough, just a quick fix. This twist is very typical of Smiling Friends, where the simple solution is hidden under layers of overcomplicated nonsense. The wizard instantly agrees, promises to stop killing the Schmalugals, and the entire mob accepts his sudden change of heart without question. Everyone is so ready for a happy ending that nobody stops to think about whether this transformation is real or just convenient. After the kingdom celebrates, the episode shifts back to the normal world as Pim, Charlie, and the king walk into a Wawa convenience store. This moment feels like a cool-down scene where the characters get snacks and decompress after the adventure. Viewers expect a funny wrap-up line, maybe a joke about the wizard, but instead, the king casually drops a bombshell. He says he saw Charlie take a photo of Princess Schmalugal's skirt during the chaos in the castle. The claim is blunt, unexpected, and deeply uncomfortable. Charlie reacts immediately, saying he never had his phone at all that day, but the show does not show the moment, does not flash back, and does not confirm anything. There is no proof either way. All the audience gets is Charlie insisting he is innocent and the king insisting he witnessed it. This is where the theme of the episode becomes very clear. The writers set up two situations where characters must choose what to believe without any evidence. First, the wizard promises he is suddenly reformed and will never hurt anyone again, and everyone believes him instantly. Then, the king accuses Charlie of doing something inappropriate, and Charlie demands to be believed instantly. Both are presented without proof, and both involve characters wanting the simplest answer because it keeps things neat and comfortable. The parallel structure makes the ending feel more intentional and more thoughtful than it appears at first. Smiling Friends uses absurd comedy to talk about how easy it is to accept whatever story feels emotionally convenient. The reason the ending works so well is because it is awkward and because the audience is not given a clear side to pick. If the show had shown Charlie doing nothing wrong, the tension would disappear. If it had shown him taking the photo, the joke would lose its mystery and become too straightforward. Leaving the moment unseen creates a conversation that continues long after the episode ends. Fans start questioning whether the king misunderstood something, whether Charlie dropped his phone earlier, whether someone else had the phone, or whether the king is lying on purpose. The creators know the show's fans love analyzing small details, and this ending gives them something they can't solve. It also fits the series' style of twisting innocent, you colorful worlds into places with strange rules and unexpected behavior. The Schmalugals like Q-fail creatures, but their world includes murder, blood rituals, and a king who may or may not be telling the truth. Even the official episode description is misleading on purpose. It says Pym, Charlie, and Flint find a new realm full of wacky characters, and that Pym gets his own adventure. It hides the darker tone of the story and the uncomfortable ending. Smiling Friends has been doing this throughout season 3, where cheerful setups hide surprising emotional or moral complications. Another interesting detail the ending highlights is the idea of vanity. The wizard's entire problem is that he can't handle being bald, and his panic leads to violence. The episode treats his hair loss like a ridiculous crisis, but the metaphor becomes clearer when the accusation against Charlie appears. Both situations are about personal reputation and how quickly someone's image can be ruined or restored by a simple claim. The wizard says he will change, and everyone instantly accepts it. The king says he saw Charlie do something inappropriate, and we don't know whether to accept that either. The entire episode plants his expectations and their instinct to choose whatever feels comfortable. Charlie's denial is also delivered in classic Charlie style: loud, fast, irritated, and a bit confused. He genuinely seems shocked, which makes some viewers believe him, but the lack of proof makes others question it. The show's style is usually chaotic, but never this morally ambiguous, which makes this moment stand out. Usually Charlie is the character trying to stay sane in crazy situations, but here, even he becomes part of the chaos. The writers love putting him in situations where he becomes defensive or annoyed, and this accusation forces him into a corner that he can't get out of with jokes. The episode ends immediately after the accusation, which makes the moment feel even more abrupt. The music cuts, the credits roll, and viewers are left sitting with the unresolved question. This is exactly how the creators want the audience to react, because the episode is less about the truth and more about how quickly people accept or reject claims based on instinct, trust, or convenience. When the wizard says he is reformed, the world wants to believe it. When Charlie denies the accusation, he wants the same treatment. The ending shows that belief is not always simple. Many fans have also pointed out that Charlie's phone being missing earlier in the episode adds to the mystery. If he truly didn't have his phone, then he physically couldn't have taken the photo. But the episode never shows where the phone actually is, and the king speaks with full confidence. The show uses this contradiction to keep viewers guessing. Even though the story is silly and full of jokes, the ending touches on a very real idea. Accusations can damage someone's life even if there is no proof, and sudden promises of moral change are often treated as fact even when they aren't earned. The entire fairy tale world of the Schmalugals works as the perfect setting for a story about belief and deception. Fairy tales usually end with neat moral lessons, but this one ends by pulling the rug out from under the characters and the audience. The king who seemed sweet and innocent suddenly becomes the person who delivers the darkest and most uncomfortable message of the episode. Charlie, who thought the adventure was over, he suddenly becomes the center of a mystery that doesn't have an answer. The wizard, who committed horrible acts, gets forgiven instantly because he said the right words. Everything is flipped upside down right at the end. By the time the credits roll, viewers realize that the entire episode is actually a joke about easy answers. The wizard gets an easy redemption. The king gives an easy accusation. Charlie gives an easy denial. And none of it is supported by evidence. The writers are playing with the idea that people love simple resolutions, but real life and even Smiling Friends does not always work that way. The ending of Smiling Friends Season 3, Episode 7 leaves fans in a place where they have to decide what they think happened, and the show never intends to confirm the truth. This open-ended approach makes the episode one of the most talked about ones of the season. Whether Charlie took the photo or not is not the point. The point is that everyone wants the quickest explanation, and the episode forces viewers to sit with a situation where no explanation is offered. The comedy, the chaos, the fairy tale world, and the bizarre characters all blended there to create an ending that is both funny and unsettling. It makes the episode stand out as one of the most memorable ones in the series.